This video is about Schedule A hiring. If you're a person that has any kind of medical condition or a disability, then you could be eligible for Schedule A. This would open up some extra doors for you to get into federal service. Schedule A status can be used for both competitive and non-competitive hiring. Before we get started, you could help out by liking this video to help with the YouTube algorithm. Also subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of all the new videos that are uploaded, and share with anyone that could use this information. Schedule A is a hiring authority that can be used to apply through competitive procedures or be non-competitively hired into the federal service. Anyone with a medical condition or a disability can be eligible, and a lot of people don't know or don't realize that they're eligible for Schedule A. The only thing required for Schedule A eligibility is for a doctor to sign a letter that says that you're eligible. The letter will read something along the lines, I, Dr. So-and-so, confirm that patient is eligible for Schedule A due to, whatever their category of illness is or disability. They don't actually have to list the specific situation, so they don't have to say, because of high blood pressure or because of diabetes or because of mental illness. They just have to simply say, I, Dr. So-and-so, confirm that patient is eligible. And we'll go over a sample of that letter in just a little bit. If you need help with the entire hiring process from start to finish, check out our book, Federal Hiring Advice, Your Guide to Government Jobs, available on Amazon. The link to purchase is in the description below. But what Schedule A does is it gives you status to apply to certain announcements. So announcements have different hiring paths or eligibilities. And you would see an announcement that was either open to current federal employees, or it might only be open to U.S. citizens. So that would be everybody, where veterans preference applies. But in some cases, they'll list out all the different hiring paths that are available. So it could be VEOA, VRA, Schedule A, 30% or more disabled, service connection, all those. And that's where Schedule A comes in, is it gives you status to apply to those announcements. And what makes it important is that as a status, it makes everyone equal. So there's no getting blocked by veterans preference when you use Schedule A, because you're going to be on the same playing field as current federal employees and other Schedule A applicants and veterans and anybody else that's listed in that hiring path. Because veterans preference only applies when announcements only open to U.S. citizens. But Schedule A also offers non-competitive hiring authority. So if you knew about a job that was vacant, or you were able to call the facility and find out that there's some vacancies, you could ask to be considered non-competitively. And it happens all the time, so it's not really out of the ordinary. You just say, hey, I'm Schedule A eligible, I have my letter, here's my resume, what do you have that fits me? And it's actually usually in the agency's best interest, because there's a lot of positions that turn over enough that you could use that Schedule A authority, and they would be more interested, especially if you're qualified, you have a lot of experience in a certain area. It's in their best interest to consider that so that they can fill a position more quickly. But just because you're non-competitive eligible doesn't guarantee that the hiring manager has to select you. It just provides them that option. So that's another kind of misunderstanding where people will think that, hey, just because I'm non-competitive eligible, you have to select me, and that's not the case. It still is up to the hiring manager to decide. Another thing that you can do with Schedule A is, if you're a current federal employee, it allows you to bypass time and grade. So if you're a current employee and you're trying to move up and you have external experience, you could use Schedule A to bypass time and grade. You can use it to apply to announcements as an external applicant, or also be non-competitive. And unlike VRA, the Veteran Authority that only the cap for the grades is GS11, Schedule A doesn't have a grade cap. So you could use it for any grade that you're eligible for, even above the GS11. So to qualify for Schedule A, all you need is the letter as your supporting document. And so I just did a quick search for Schedule A letter OPM, and there is a sample right here. It says it's for voc rehab, but it could be tailored to anything. Just like we said before, all it has to say is, this letter is certification that you, as the applicant, has a documented disability identified by, and then this would be their office, and then they already have the hiring authority in there and list that it's just very generic. Either you have an intellectual disability, a severe physical disability, or a psychiatric disability, and that is it. No actual other information. And when I said before that people may not even be aware that they're eligible, it could be anything. So I've seen people get Schedule A letters just for having high blood pressure, for diabetes. Could be, really anything that, seems to be pretty common today. So if you're just not sure, all it would take would be for your doctor's office to complete a letter like this. So I'll leave the link to this letter in the description below so that you can go straight to it. And then if you have other questions about Schedule A that we haven't covered in this video, there's also some more links here. So the authority itself. So it just has some explanations on how it works, explanations about the authority. Then you can even keep going through reference materials, and it has all the information that you could possibly need to understand Schedule A better. Just to summarize Schedule A, it's a hiring eligibility that is used for someone that has a documented disability or some kind of medical condition. You can use it either competitively or non-competitively, which means for competitive, it gives you status to apply to announcements that you might not otherwise be able to apply to. So if you didn't have any other kind of status, Schedule A would give you that ability, so it would open up more jobs for you to apply to as an external candidate. And then the non-competitive piece is that if you contact the facility or contact that HR office, let them know that you're eligible for Schedule A, give them your resume, and they can actually find jobs that you're eligible for, qualified for, and submit you straight to the hiring manager outside of an announcement. It's still optional. The hiring manager does not have to select you that way, but it gives them the option. The only thing needed to qualify for Schedule A is that letter. So I put a link in the description for the sample letter from OPM, and all it has to say is, I, Dr. So-and-so, confirm that this patient has a documented disability in one of the 3 categories and is eligible for Schedule A. That's it. They don't have to disclose your medical history or anything like that. Now, when you do get selected, we didn't cover this in the video, but there is a disability disclosure form that you'll have to just kind of check the box on so that the correct legal authority will be used. So there's a different legal authority based on one of the 3 categories, and so that you would have to disclose it at that point, but it won't, it's for documentation purposes and won't be negative in any way. And then the final thing is that you can use Schedule A authority if you're an internal candidate. You already work for the federal government and you're trying to promote more quickly. It allows you to bypass time and grade, but you would still have to have external experience if you're going to go to a higher grade, because your current experience wouldn't necessarily be at the next lower grade as required. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer. If you need to work one-on-one, you can visit the website at www.federalhiringadvice.com and we can schedule a time to meet.